And most of us think more negative thoughts than we do positive thoughts. I'm a big Abraham Hicks fan and Bashar fan. Abraham says if you hold a thought, energy, or frequency for 68 seconds, it literally changes your point of attraction. But most people can't go 68 seconds without going, look, a squirrel. And so people, we have a distraction problem. We have a focus problem, right? And so it's in all, because here's the thing about energy and thoughts and consciousness and this law of attraction thing, which for most people is the law of no satisfaction, is the thought you're thinking in any given moment is attracting more thoughts like it because that thought has a frequency.
My guest today is Andy Dooley, who has come up with an interesting way to help you pre-program the thoughts that are keeping you stuck by literally rewiring your brain so that you can bring in all of those things that you have been trying to manifest to help change your life to make it the best it can possibly be. And he does all of this with a lot of humor and some fun exercises. So we are looking forward to an amazing collaborative conversation. So Andy, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Laurie. Yeah, we're going to rewire your brain, get you in the fast lane, having fun, focus flowing, and feeling good.
I love that. Well, so I'm going to guess you probably weren't always thinking about rewiring the brain. At what point in time did you kind of step into this spiritualness that we all seem to have stepped into?
Yeah, right. We've shifted into this whole new collective awakening
That
of
is right. I love
spirituality.
that. I call this the Great Awakening.
Yeah, yeah. My brother has a book called The Great Awakening. So yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. To lining it all up. The chakras. Can you feel your chakras lining
There we
up right
go.
now? My third eye is lighting up. Oh my God, what's happening? Planet Earth rebirth.
There you go. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I started out as an artist. I went to art school. I went to the Ringling School of Art and Design, which is now the Ringling College. I was a trapeze artist. Just kidding.
That's a good one.
And yeah, I then started a business with my mother and brother called Tut, Totally Unique T-shirts, which later became Totally Unique Thoughts and all the things. And that's kind of when I got into I got in kind of young to the spiritual stuff with that saying affirmations and,
Like what kind of age were we talking about?
oh, like high school, I read the Silva Mind Control Method and started reading affirmation books. And my mom introduced me to the Seth material channeled by Jane Roberts.
Ah.
So I was dabbling in it. I was not intellectually smart enough to even comprehend a paragraph or a sentence that Seth was saying. But my mom was like, "You create your reality." And I'm like, "Really?"
You know what? I was thinking about this the other day. One of the movies that really woke me up, and I think it did this for a lot of people, is The
50
Matrix.
Shades of Grey.
No, The Matrix, because
The
Neo
Matrix.
was able to do just what you just said.
Right. Did
Create
you, so you
anything.
took, we took the red pill, right?
The
Red pill,
red
blue pill,
pill.
red pill, blue pill.
That's
I
right.
saw that movie. I mixed the two pills together and I got purple rain.
Oh boy. I can just see where this whole interview is going to go today.
Yeah, man. I'm in Boulder, Colorado. So yeah. Your son almost went to Boulder, UCU, but he chose a different path. He
He
took the blue
chose a different
pill.
path. He needed to choose that path. It all lined up perfectly. It all turned out exactly to be where he was supposed to be for sure.
Yeah, that's good. It always is. It is always working out for us, even though when we think it's not. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
I agree. So at what point did you start to realize, all right, these t-shirts are great, but we're going to add the thought part into it? And why did you decide it was going to be important for helping people change their thoughts?
Actually, the t-shirts, we started putting unique thoughts and inspirational quotes on the t-shirts.
So give me a couple examples.
We were selling t-shirts out of a push cart. We started in a push cart in Orlando, Florida, and our sales rep was like, "I need dolphins. People love dolphins. Do a dolphin design, Andy." And so I came up with a poem, and then my brother wrote the other half of the poem, and it was two dolphins on the t-shirt, and the poem said, "The deep blue sea spoke to me. It was holding back a mystery. A dolphin took me by the hand. It wanted me to understand that in this life there's more to behold than bags of money and pots of gold. Believe in yourself and you will see how happy and free you are meant to be."
I love that. And how many of those t-shirts did you sell?
1 million.
Really?
Yeah, that kicked us off. Like it was like all of a sudden now we were different. We had like a poem or a thought on a t-shirt, and then that's when we went from totally unique t-shirts to totally unique thoughts. And then Mike started writing. This unlocked Mike's.
Wait a minute. Okay. Mike
Okay.
Dooley is your brother.
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
Shut that front door.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, this is all right. My mind is now blown because when I saw your name, I was like, oh, I know who this is. And I looked at you and I'm like, God, he looks like him, but I know his name is not Andy. And when I did the little search, like, who am I interviewing today? No wonder you, oh my gosh, you're blowing my mind. I found your brother's books. I'm sorry. I don't know about you, but I found your brother's
Good.
book many years ago, like probably 10 or 12 years ago. And I was like, this guy is like fire. And I now see, are you
Whoa.
guys twins?
No, we are not twins, but we
You
do look
look a
alike.
lot alike.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
say that all the time.
Yeah, people do. Mike is 6 years older than me. And
Okay.
yeah, we look a lot alike. And we're so blessed that we all have, my sister Amanda, she's awesome too. And the three of us are all spiritual. My mom was spiritual, my dad was
Well,
spiritual.
now it's all fallen into place because he's doing if I remember right, it was like notes to the universe. What
Right.
was it
Notes from
right?
the universe. Yeah.
Ah, oh my God, this is my mind is just blown right now. Sorry.
You can still get the notes from the universe. You can go to tut.com and you can sign up for the notes from the universe. You can go to andydooley.com and get my cool artwork and funky videos and
So
rewiring your
you
brain.
guys came together. I love it that you're writing one half of the poem and he's writing the other half of the poem and you're doing stuff together and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, yeah, and I still do a lot of art. I'm always posting images and art on social media, and yeah, creative juices are always flowing, showing because people love the visual too. They love to see how it works. Like I have an online membership, the Manifestors Cafe, and it's visual. I show people this is how your thoughts work. This is a tool that we can use to bridge the gap.
Okay.
So the visual, we're visual creatures. We got to see, like people watching this video, like I want to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thoughts, so you're creating these crazy cool thoughts on these t-shirts and then you get an idea. Is this a download? How do you come across what you wound up creating for rewiring your brain?
All right. Well, it actually comes from improv comedy because during
Of course it
the
does. Why would it
right,
not come from that?
right. I used to live in Orlando, Florida. Now I'm in Boulder, and so I stumbled into an improv comedy show one night and was like, "Oh my God, I have to try this." And one of the tools they teach beginning improvisers is when you get on stage, a lot of people go blank and they say, okay, start each sentence with the words, "That's right," because it gets you to just agreeing with what your partner's saying. So you say, "That's right, we're at a bus stop." And you say, "That's right, we're waiting for the bus." "That's right, I'm listening to music while we're waiting." And you say, "That's right, that's right, that's right." And you get momentum between two people going back and forth. And so I was like, oh, well, why not use this for helping people rewire their brain? It's like affirmations on steroids.
Okay.
And you can change the sentence, the words that follow "that's right." So you can say like, "That's right, I'm beginning to believe in myself." "That's right, I'm taking action." "That's right, I'm following through." "That's right, the pieces are coming together." "That's right, I'm enjoying the journey." "That's right." And so you're affirming and confirming what you're saying. And every time you think a thought, it literally changes the wiring of your brain. And most of us think more negative thoughts than we do positive thoughts. And so And in 68 seconds, Abraham Hicks, I'm a big Abraham Hicks fan and Bashar fan. Abraham says, if you hold a thought, energy, or frequency for 68 seconds, it literally changes your point of attraction. But most people can't go 68 seconds without going, look, a squirrel. And so, people, we have a distraction problem. We have a focus problem, right?
I
I mean, it's
don't know what you're talking about.
right? Oh, wait, I got a text message. Hang on a second. No. Yeah. And so it's and all because here's the thing about, energy and thoughts and consciousness and this law of attraction thing, which for most people is the law of no satisfaction, is the thought you're thinking in any given moment is attracting more thoughts like it because that thought has a frequency. And so if you get on the bitch train, you're going to attract more things to bitch and complain about. You're going to see more things that are wrong instead of right. And also, conversely, if you get on the bliss train, you're going to attract more thoughts that raise your vibration. And so when you deliberately, because I talk a lot about being a deliberate creator as opposed to being a default creator. We're moving into the age now and the energy now where you can't afford to be lazy with your focus and intentions. Like you got to be deliberate, you got to care about how you feel. And so being a deliberate creator and rewiring your brain, one of the tools is that's right. That's right. I'm a deliberate creator. That's right. I do create my reality. That's right. I'm a powerful creator. That's right. Things are working out for me. And then you boom, 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 and you can go easily 68 seconds. And now you've literally changed the frequency that you're putting out to the universe.
Okay. You're blowing my mind here, Andy, because I got a download, I want to say probably 13 years ago. So these videos live in perpetuity. So I should probably say the year that was. So at about 2012, 13, right around there, maybe 14, I got this download. I was in the shower and it was this whole thought packet about helping people change their thoughts. And it was called the Superpower Challenge. And the idea was that people had these bad thoughts, negative thoughts, thoughts that plague them. But what if you could have a moniker, something that you carried with you to remind you that this was happening? And I decided they should go to the store and buy a box of Tic Tacs, Little Mints,
Yeah.
120, like you eat one every time you have a bad thought. If you ate the whole pack by lunchtime, it's only 120 calories. And what's the worst thing that happened? You have amazing breath. So this was my idea that people would use this, but I was telling people you should just then replace those thoughts with something else. And this was actually the very first video I ever created on my channel. The very first video. I practiced and practiced and practiced
Yeah.
until I could tell this entire story in 25 minutes in one fell swoop without any missteps, because I didn't know about editing back then.
Yeah.
And I even painted this, hold on, because this was out for something totally different, but I happen to have it near me. But
Oh,
this was the idea.
yeah. Look at that beautiful painting with the heart and the superpowered challenge. Yeah.
So
Love
I
it.
had this site called Soul Heart Art, and I used to create these soul whisper paintings. I painted 400 of them in 4 years, and I had a massive following on Facebook for them until I decided I didn't want to be on Facebook anymore for that kind of stuff, because
Okay.
they're not kind to creators. They want you to just keep paying for their ads, and so they don't share your stuff with your audience. So I got off of that, but that was like so important to me. But I felt like you couldn't just change your thoughts, but you're talking about rewiring, which is a little bit different. And what I do know about the thoughts is that those negative thoughts you mentioned, every time you have them, there are chemical mediators that your body releases
Mm-hmm.
that cause you to want to stay with and keep using those negative thoughts. And so you have to do something
Yeah.
pretty big to overcome those endorphins and the feelings you get, whether they're
Yeah.
negative or not, right? So tell me what
Yeah.
you've learned about all this.
Yeah. Like I love the science behind all this too. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is leading the
Yes.
field. And yeah, the body becomes the unconscious mind, and you practice these thoughts so much that here's the kicker is that you start to identify with those thoughts and you think that's who I am. And you forget that
Yeah.
you're really love and light. You're a manifestation of the divine. You're the universe pretending to be human, but you're so caught up in the illusion of I'm this little character and I have these negative thoughts and I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. People don't love me. And those thoughts become your identity. And that's what I help my clients break free from, of no longer identifying with those thoughts. Because all suffering comes from our thoughts and us identifying with the thought. We think we're our thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions.
And we're going to have to be cleaning up our thoughts, because if you've stumbled across the telepathy tapes,
Oh,
this is,
right.
this is what I'm calling the 4-minute mile of consciousness. This is where we
Ooh.
uncover that this is a reality. It's not just something people are experiencing on the other side, that telepathically other people are uncovering that they have the ability to communicate this way and read our thoughts. So if you're crazy with your thoughts, have fun with that, as people are being able to pick up on them. One thing if I'm in my car and I'm saying something, it's another thing if the person
Right.
can hear what I'm saying, right?
Oh, I know. I know. That's where we're going. This collective awakening that's
Yes.
happening is we're all telepathic. We can all, it's a gift, it's an ability we all have, but
Yeah.
we've buried it. We've lost it, but now we're coming back into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, even Bashar talks about how our DNA is waking up and dormant talents and skills that we all have are now
Tell me
coming
about that.
online.
DNA is waking up. What does that mean?
Yeah, as we're accelerating the energy collectively and moving into fourth density consciousness, our DNA is loaded and coded with all kinds of goodies like telepathic communication, understanding emotions, receiving blocks of information from another person, or downloads, from the field. And so these are just some of the things. I don't know all the things that are going to come online, but we all have the ability. If anybody has the ability to heal, we all have the ability to heal. If anybody has the ability to be psychic, or people who do remote viewing, like we all have that ability. We just haven't awakened it yet, but that's what's coming. That's where we're going.
So you think that the changing the thoughts is kind of step one, the baby step to maybe
Yeah,
awakening some of these things?
it's a big part of it. And we've got these thoughts that we're thinking, and then it feels like our thoughts are thinking us, and then we just think, well, this is just who I am. I wake up and I'm negative. I wake up and I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm depressed, and we run these emotional patterns, and that's why taking the time to feel that emotion of anger, depression, sadness, really feel it, be with it, breathe into it, honor it. It's a gift. Your emotions are a gift. They're letting you know your thoughts are out of alignment. So the thoughts and the emotions and the beliefs, they all work together. Um, and the more you're aware of your thoughts, and really it starts with the emotion, because like you said earlier, you said you had your download, were you taking a shower? You said you're
I
in the
was taking
shower?
a shower.
Okay, yeah, right. And that's where we get some of our best thoughts.
Right, because you're
Downloads.
doing a mundane activity that you do repetitively. And so your mind isn't necessarily going in all the directions. And I also wonder, do you think water has something to do with it as a sentient vehicle?
Yeah, it does. I believe it does. I don't know the science behind that, but the hot water, the relaxing, you're quieting your mind, and all of a sudden you've been asking for something, and now all of a sudden the universe finds the crack of least resistance, and boom, it comes. You download the thought,
Yeah.
and so the emotional aspect is great, and I love that everybody's now talking about emotions and honoring your emotions and feeling your emotions, because you and I are Gen X, right, where it's like we were told not to feel our emotions, don't talk about your
Gen X.
emotions. You're like, what gen am I?
Well, I know I'm outside of the baby boomers.
Yeah,
I think we are Gen X.
okay, yeah, you're Gen X. um And so our generation was told, we swung the pendulum the other way. Now, Gen Z and Gen Y, they're all like emotions. Oh, I feel that. Oh, I have to just take the day off because I don't feel like working. And our generation is like, I don't care what you feel like, you're working.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You're working 3 jobs, mister.
So that emotional awareness that behind emotions are thoughts and beliefs. Behind your emotions are always thoughts and beliefs because emotions don't just exist on their own. You have a belief about being unworthy. So therefore, you feel this emotion of not good enough, I don't fit in. But if you change the belief about your worthiness and that you are good enough, then you don't experience that emotion. So yeah, this work that everybody's waking up to, and there's so many different modalities and teachers and tools and techniques for getting into your feeling. But once you start feeling an emotion, oh, okay, you've practiced it. You think that you are the emotion, but you're never the emotion. You're experiencing it, and if you change the thought, you'll change the emotion.
So can you give me, you said you're working with people. Can you give me an example of what people have said to you once they're able to break through these thought patterns that don't serve them and they are now experiencing life differently, free of the things that were limiting that they were telling themselves over and over again?
Yeah, I was working with a client a while back, and she had gotten into a stage where her thoughts were, it was a fluke. I got lucky once before. It's not going to happen again. I don't have what it takes. She was her, um, yeah, you remember when teleseminars were really big and everybody was doing like teleseminars and seminars and there's 20 speakers and you can learn. So she rocked that. She made a great money, she made great impact. And now things have changed, right? The whole like, who moved my cheese? Where did it go?
I haven't heard that reference in a long time.
Yeah, right. And so she was dealing with that, and then she was dealing with a lot of negative thinking towards herself. And am I good enough? And I think it was just a fluke, and I don't have what I want. And where did it go? And so the majority of the calls was changing her thoughts and beliefs about herself and firing and wiring those new thoughts. Because thoughts, you fire and wire them enough, then they become beliefs. Then the beliefs become your story. Then it becomes your new identity, your new point of attraction. And then you start manifesting a new reality. It does take time. We all want a quantum leap and get there instantly. And it's possible. But for most people, you really want to take the journey and you really want to practice thinking thoughts that feel better. And another tool I've developed over the years is called the transition story. Because there's where you are and then there's where you want to be. And we all want to I want to be there now. Give me the money now, the love. Let me heal my body now. Let me have the big following and the 7-figure income now. But it's a journey. It's a journey. We want the journey. You don't want to just have everything you want now. And so there's 3 magic words that can help bridge the gap. Or it's the transition story. So you use the word beginning, becoming, and allowing. Because when your brain hears that, it's believable and it validates that you're on a journey. So instead of trying to say, I'm now a multimillionaire and I blah, 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 your brain says, BS, you're broke. So you say, I'm beginning to feel better about myself. I'm beginning to move forward. I'm beginning to show up consistently. Right? Your brain's like, yes, I can believe that. I'm becoming more confident. I'm becoming more focused. I'm beginning to feel better about my situation. I'm allowing myself to be guided. I'm allowing the energy to flow. I'm allowing good things to happen. I'm allowing myself to feel worthy, beginning, becoming, and allowing. Now you're closing the gap and you're feeling you're on the path. I'm on the path of things getting better. I'm turning things around. I'm now walking into the next best chapter of my life. So and you do that for 68 seconds, bam, you've changed your energy. Now you can get into action. You're creating the new neural networks and you're installing new beliefs.
Wow. Beginning, becoming, and allowing. This is similar to something that I did. I've told this story before on one of my videos. I have a series of videos that I kind of launched my channel with after that first thought one called Uncover Your Soul's Purpose, What You Don't Know Is Holding You Back. And it's a chapter that I did about self-love and about faking it until you make it. And I was sharing the story that when my son was about second grade, 7 or 8, all of a sudden I get him up in the morning. He was like, I don't want to go to school. I don't like school. I'm like, you don't like school? What do you mean you don't like school? You like school a week ago. You don't like it anymore. And I was really concerned because I didn't know, was he being bullied? Was something happening? Was he bored? Like, what was going on? And I talked to the teacher. There wasn't anything. I talked to him. There wasn't anything. For whatever reason, he had all of a sudden decided he didn't like school. Or he said he hated school. That was the actual word. And I'm like, we're not going to use hate in this household. But then I started changing it. It took a few weeks, but I started changing it to school's not that bad. And then you get to the point where you're like, I kind of like school, and then you could like it. And then pretty soon you're running, like it's like crawling, walking, running. And then it went away and I didn't need it anymore. And but again, it's that rewiring. And I feel like this is very similar to your beginning, becoming, allowing. So you're kind of blowing my mind, Andy, because I feel like we've been on like this parallel path with these different things that we
Right.
kind of uncovered. And we just knew maybe intuitively that these were just something that we needed to put into the collective. And we're both doing it different ways, but almost the same thing.
Yeah, these tools, and people have done this unconsciously. If someone starts a new job, they move to a new city, people ask them, how's the new job going? And they automatically say, oh, I'm beginning to get it. Oh, I'm learning my way around. Oh, I'm figuring things out. Like they tell a story of it's happening, it's beginning, I'm becoming I'm beginning to fill this role, I'm becoming more confident in this role, this new city. Allowing is probably a word they're probably not using that much, but people have done it unconsciously. Now you can do it deliberately and consciously to bridge that gap because everybody, wants, oftentimes it's a big dream that they want and where they feel they are, it just seems so far away and so impossible. And the affirmations, this is how I found this. I mean, years ago, after the t-shirt business, I started another company, and we never got it off the ground. Lost $100,000. I went through,
Whoa.
yeah, lost a lot of money, time, energy. The relationship I was in fell apart. I was in Toastmasters now, and I wanted to become the next world champion of public speaking, and I didn't win the district contest, and so I was back at ground zero, and I was having the world's biggest pity party and felt like a failure. My back went out. I was in pain. And I remember sitting on my back porch in Florida writing, affirmations and writing it, and none of it clicked. And then I said, all right, well, I'm beginning to get better. I'm beginning to speak. I'm beginning to pursue new dreams. I'm beginning to turn things around. I'm becoming a better speaker. I'm becoming more focused. And I was like, oh, wait, this feels doable. Beginning, becoming. So first in the beginning, it was just beginning and becoming. And then Abraham Hicks talks a lot about the law of allowing because you've asked, it's been given. You've got to allow yourself to receive it, get in the receiving mode. So that's when I then started incorporating allowing into, telling a transition story to bridge the gap.
Can you finish the story with the gal that came to you who had been telling herself that she was lucky and she had had all the success in the tele-talking industry? And then what happened to her?
Yeah. So we worked together for a few months and she really got good at the mindset and she changed her energy, her frequency. And so now she has gotten into a new groove and she's doing her own stuff instead of trying to do all this stuff with other people. And now she's back in the groove. She's got the confidence, she's got her mojo back. And that transition story was one of the key things that really helped her kind of bridge the gap and believe in herself again. And these are the tools that work, and you've got to do the work. Too often people are looking for kind of the shortcut. The long road is the shortcut. The hard way is the short way. You got to do the work. You've got to fire and wire the thoughts. You've got to feel and embody the emotions. And of course, I do a lot of guided meditations and visualizations with clients and my members in the cafe. Because sometimes we need to stop talking and we just need to feel and see it in our mind, see it and feel it, see it and feel it. And now you've changed your energy because we're so conditioned to talking ourselves in out of alignment and talking about the problem instead of the solution.
Well, Andy, do you want to share something that you do from a guided meditation standpoint?
But yeah, we could do a short little guided a visualization for those listening in. It'll be short and sweet.
If you're driving, don't do this right now.
Right. If you're operating heavy machinery,
That too.
right? Put down the chainsaw. Yeah, and I got a great story too I want to share. The Monk and the Samurai and an Abraham Hicks story.
They're not walking into a bar together, are they?
No, they're not, but that would be funny. A monk and a samurai walk into a bar. The monk says, "Why didn't you see the bar?" The samurai says, "Because you're supposed to be intuitive." I don't know. All right, little quick visualization. So let's, if you're listening now, you can put your hand on your heart, and we'll start off with 3 nice deep breaths. So inhale deeply, inhale. Exhale completely. Just let it all go. Another big breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Just breathing into your heart, letting it go. One more breath. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath. Hold it. Push it down into your belly. 1, 2, 3. Let it go. Dropping in. Just focusing on the ease and flow of your breath. Feel that love and light beating in your heart, connecting to source energy. Feel that love that is you all around you, vibrating in every cell of your body. Visualize your body as a light body connected to source, divinity, God, the universe. Feel it all now inside of you right here. Grounding into the earth, appreciating the earth below you, the sky above you, and appreciating yourself, appreciating the journey you're on. And go ahead and say, "I appreciate you," and then say your name. Do it mentally. Say, "I appreciate you," and say your name. Say, "I believe in you," and say your name. Say, "I celebrate you," and say your name. Now feel how good it feels to be in this moment, knowing that everything is working out for you and that you are walking into the next best chapter of your life. Go ahead and say, "I am walking in to the next best chapter of my life." Feel yourself walking into the next best chapter. See and feel whatever it is there that's coming to you. Is it a relationship? Is it love, romance, a healthy body? Whatever it is you want to walk into, see yourself already being that person now. Feel that you are now that person in this moment. Feel the celebration of it. You see it, you feel it, you're embodying it. Yes, yes, yes. And then go ahead and say, I love you, and then say your name. Say it one more time. And now on the count of three, you open your eyes. So one, feel this love and light and energy and infinite possibilities within you. Two, see yourself being that person, happy, healthy, and wealthy, thriving, living your best life. See and feel it now. Two and a half, giving thanks for the journey, the contrast, the clarity, all of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love my life. I love my life. And three, kaboom, open your eyes. Welcome back.
I didn't fall asleep.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody else did either.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Very empowering. So
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
us, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, yeah, the power of just stopping and breathing and dropping into your heart and telling a better story and just celebrating yourself right here, right now, uh, can really change your energy too. You know, that was probably more than 68 seconds. And so right now, all the listeners, you probably feel yourself vibrating on a different frequency right now. And the whole universe is now responding to the new vibe that you're putting out.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Oh. You can always ask for more, but right now you be satisfied. This is the thing. Be satisfied with what is. So hard for people to get to being satisfied. This is a quote from Abraham. Be satisfied with what is and excited for more. Because when you're satisfied with what is, that means you're not pushing against anything and you're not blaming anything. You're satisfied. You're content. This is what is. And from here, I can get to there. So if you can be satisfied with what is and excited for more, that's the vibration that opens the door.
Very nice. So we're going through this great awakening. We're talking
Yeah.
about it, a little bit before we came on air. And I'd love to know your thoughts about what you feel is coming, what you feel is changing.
Ooh. Okay. What is coming and what's changing? So we're gonna go. I believe we're gonna have to go through some more craziness in the world. You know, I don't think we're gonna have another pandemic, but I think there's going to be more fallout, more corruption, more unstable economy, possibly, and just that whole the old world is falling apart and a new world's emerging, and this is what it looks like. And I love how Bashar says, look, you guys are master creators. You created the game called reality so you could play the game, but you gave yourself amnesia so that way you could get lost in the illusions and you could work your way back to oneness, to light. So we're here, all of us now on planet Earth, we knew what we were getting into, and we're all very advanced souls, very brave, courageous souls. And so we're here to transform the darkness into light, fear into love, Mondays into Saturdays. I mean, we're here. We are the bringers of the dawn. And so this is a time to really rise up and to not be caught up in the illusion of what's happening and be so reactive. One of the things I've been teaching a lot and stressing with my members is stop being so reactive to the drama. Your dreams have to be bigger than the drama. You cannot let the circumstances dictate how you feel. You've got to master your state of being. And, observe it. You don't have to absorb it. Observe it, be less reactive. It's happening, yes, but it's happening for the greater good. Donald Trump being president is happening for the greater good. He gets to play the villain in our epic transformation, and we need someone like a Donald Trump to play the evil villain, the corrupt, crazy lunatic, so that way we have something to wake ourselves up so we can reclaim our power, light, and love and magic. I just heard a quote from Abraham Hicks, and they're like, oh my God, does Donald Trump create your reality? Have you heard nothing that we've said? Like, we are failing miserably as your teacher. You create your reality, not Donald Trump, not anybody else. So, this is the time for us to awaken our power and not be so sucked into the illusion, eating the forbidden fruit of the illusions and forgetting that we're creating the game, the illusion, so we can play the game. So Bashar says, this is really woo-woo and might freak some people out, but it's really good. It is a 90% probability at this time that in the year 2027, we will experience open contact with our galactic family, which means aliens. And he said between now and then, there's going to be several events that are preparing us for this open contact where everybody on planet Earth will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are part of something bigger, and everybody will know that aliens are real and they are here to not do it for us, but they're here to let us know that they're here and that we're family. I know it sounds really woo-woo, but they're preparing us for like the evolution of humanity truly waking up to our divinity and power and creating like the planet Earth that we all really want to live on. Love and harmony and rainbows and unicorns.
So if we had contact with an alien species, what do you think their intention would be?
To open our hearts, to get us to feel love within ourselves that we're been afraid to feel, that we think that we have to get from something else outside of ourselves. Yeah, they want to meet us with open hearts. They want us to know that we're not just humans, pathetic humans and bumbling around, that we all really are one family.
Spirits having a human experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I do also have to go, man. Like, this sounds to me, it sounds really exciting and fun, and like it sounds like next level. But I also got to go, maybe it's just all Bashar's full of it, Abraham's full of it. Nobody really knows a damn thing, and we're just I don't know, but I do believe that we are on to this path of the Great Awakening. Because it's not just Bashar, too. I mean, there's Daniel Scranton with the Arcturian Council, Lisa Royal Holt, Jesse Herman with Vagrin. I mean, there's so many people channeling and bringing in, this extraterrestrial information from the Pleiadians. They've been around forever. Wendy Kennedy. There's so many amazing channelers that have been doing this for, decades, and they're all sharing a very similar message of who we really are and where we're going. Eventually, we'll become the sixth hybrid race to join the Intergalactic Federation, which is like, what? But like, wow, I love
We
that.
better make a couple changes before we're allowed on that federation. We can't even do the NATO.
I know we're working out all our shadows and our fears and lack, limitation, and separation. We're breaking free from that. So yeah, that's where I think we're going. And again, there's going to be several events that are preparing us for this 2027 open contact that will really help shift people's minds and get them ready for this kind of connection and interaction.
Because this won't be a scary event. I think this won't
No,
be like some of the movies that we've seen where people freak out and aliens are running on the roof or anything like that.
no, nothing like that.
These are beings that really are us because we're all one collective consciousness, all from the same place. We're just drops into an avatar and we're just one avatar and the aliens would be another avatar, but at the soul of us, we're all collective consciousness.
That's 100%. We are one collective. We are one. The all is one and the one is the all. And we're all connected, but we're all fragments or pieces of divinity, God consciousness, and we're all have our own unique perspectives playing our own game, but I'm you, you're me, all is one and we'll always be.
Absolutely. Well, Andy, I love your energy, first of all. And I would imagine that you're pretty fun to work with. So I would think that
Yeah.
there's some people watching right now who are like, where is this guy? Where can I
Right.
find this guy? What is he doing? Because you also have your own YouTube channel. So tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about your YouTube channel and what are you creating there?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, it's Andy Dooley TV, but you can just type in Andy Dooley and you'll get that. Here's what I did. If people are interested or want to understand more about the Manifestors Cafe, which is a weekly online membership or coaching, andydooley.com. And I created this really cool manifestation quiz that helps uncover your manifestation blocks, because we all have unconscious blocks. And when you find out how you're blocking yourself, you can start working on that awareness and conscious awareness of unblocking yourself. So if you go to, I just put the link in the chat box. I guess that's not helping others, but you can
It's
put it in.
okay. I will take all the links and I will put them in the show notes so that people can click on them from there.
Yeah, take my free quiz to find out how you're unconsciously blocking your manifestations. And then that will tell you more. I got a PDF that's the 5 mistakes that manifestors make. I talk about the cafe, I talk about coaching. My videos are on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram. And yeah, I love helping people go from being a default creator to a deliberate creator and really learn using all these tools that I've developed over a decade now and getting people back into their power, their alignment, their heart.
So tell me from your perspective how your life is different before you were using these tools to how it is now.
My life now has a lot more ease and flow, and there's this consistent unfolding. And even when there's contrast, because you never get rid of contrast, there's going to be bumps in the road. My reaction is so much different. I used to be like, oh, I'm so stupid, and why did now there's so much more self-love and compassion towards myself, and understanding that when it doesn't go the way I thought it was going to go, it's like, oh, okay. It's like I'm less reactive and more like, curious. Okay, I know this is working for me. How can I use this? Because a negative reaction creates a negative response. A positive reaction creates a positive response. And so I really learned to look for the gift, to ask even that question. Okay, what's the gift in this? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Instead of it's their fault and they should have done this and I can't believe it. Instead of that, it's now like, ooh, this is good. This is helping me grow. I'm expanding into more. Thank you, thank you.
Did people around you notice the difference?
It's been gradual. I remember when we had the t-shirt business, Mike and we'd argue a lot about things, and my mom would argue, and then we at some point we just crossed this threshold where we were just less argumentative and more just accepting and hearing the other person. And I remember like, oh wow, I've changed. I was like, well, Mike has changed. Oh yeah. Um, there's just, yeah, it's a gradual change. I'm sure somebody from, who saw me one way, 10 years later would see me this way and be like, oh, wow, you're so different. Um, but yeah, gradual change.
That's amazing. Well, I am grateful. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing the wisdom that you've accumulated over time. And you've given people some little gold nuggets. They can go to your website, they can take the quiz, they can do some of these meditations and the videos that you have, and maybe pick up that That's Right tool.
That's
Your
right. You can
thoughts.
pick that up. Use it
Yeah.
today. That's right. It's
Yeah.
working out for me. That's right. This was just what I needed to hear. That's right. I can change my frequency in 68 seconds.
There
That's
you go.
right. I'm walking into the next best chapter of my life.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Andy, for what you are doing to help wake up the collective. It is so needed right now.
Thank you, Laurie, for having me on. Thank you, all your fans and subscribers. Check out andydooley.com. I'm here for you. We're all in this together. Let's raise the collective consciousness. That's right. We're doing this.
We're doing this. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Bye.
Next up, check out this playlist of other NDE interviews. Please like and subscribe. It really helps this channel to grow so I can bring you more content. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad you're here.